the Golden Child. Welcome back to Real Expectations, the channel where we talk about what worked in a movie, what did not, and whether a movie lived up to our realistic or unrealistic expectations. Today we are taking a look at Eddie Murphy's The Golden Child, a movie that when I first saw it, I considered it Eddie's second best movie. I know that's kind of out there, but stay with me. Beverly Hills Cop is his best. It's a better movie. It's tighter, better structured, and has a stronger story. But The Golden Child has something extremely different. It might be, of all his movies, the purest Eddie Murphy movie ever made. The Eddie Murphy personality is stamped all over this film. His humor, his timing, his improvisational skill, energy, and the way he reacts to the increasingly ridiculous situations are what makes this movie work. And after revisiting it all these years later, I came away with one simple conclusion. The story is thin as hell. The fantasy mythology, horrible. It doesn't hold together at times. And none of that matters because Eddie Murphy is so entertaining that he elevates the entire experience. The Golden Child tells of a story of social worker Chandler Jarrell, who specializes in finding missing children. What starts as a missing person case quickly turns into a supernatural adventure involving prophecies, demons, mystical daggers, and a child destined to battle evil. If you are looking for a deeply layered fantasy story, this is not it. The mythology, like I said, is vague. The rules seem to change whenever the movie needs them to. Some plot points are more interesting than they are fully developed. Objectively speaking, there are tremendous weaknesses everywhere in this movie. But here's the thing. I do not watch The Golden Child for the plot, thank God. I watch it for Eddie Murphy. He is what makes the movie special. And as Chandler Jarrell, reacting to everything that's happening to him, he is unlike traditional fantasy heroes. Chandler doesn't charge into danger with complete confidence. He is skeptical, sarcastic, constantly trying to process the fact that impossible things are consistently happening right in front of him. That is where the comedy of this movie comes from. My favorite moment in the flick is when he tells one of the minions, "This won't take long. I am the chosen one." He then busts into the villain's room, sees the villain change into a demon, and immediately says, "I see you're busy right now. I'll come back later." That is pure Eddie Murphy. That, with the comedic timing that he showed, was incredible. I love watching this movie just for that one scene and the look of his face as he knows he's doomed. Yes, that scene 30 years later still makes me laugh because it is such a human reaction. Most movie heroes become braver when confronted with the monster. Not Eddie Murphy's Chandler Jarrell. He becomes more realistic. His confidence disappears instantly. That Eddie Murphy is the best version of him. The movie constantly takes grand fantasy concepts and filters them through the most human perspective. Now, that does work in this movie tremendously. That's why so many individual moments in this movie remain memorable, even when parts of the story fade from memory. When I think about the Golden Child, I do not immediately think about prophecies or magical artifacts. But what I do remember is Eddie Murphy. That is what stays with me. I remember the expressions, the jokes, and that is a very important distinction. Sometimes we do discuss movies on how technically superior they are. This is not one of those movies, but it does ask us one simple question. Is it enjoyable? And The Golden Child absolutely is. In fact, it is one of the most rewatchable movies I have encountered. Superior films sit on my shelves collecting dust. I have revisited The Golden Child over and over. Spending 90 minutes with Eddie Murphy is just pure, simple fun. That's not something every movie can accomplish, but this one does. Now, could another actor make this work? Honestly, I'm not so sure. Remove Eddie Murphy's charisma, and suddenly you see all the glaring weaknesses, and they become extremely harder to ignore. His performance just doesn't improve the movie, it carries the movie. The Golden Child is not a great fantasy film. It's not a perfect movie. The story is paper thin. The mythology shaky at best. Some elements have not aged particularly well, but which 80s movie has? But it succeeds in the area that matters the most. It is freaking entertaining, and I think that's what we watch movies for. This is the most concentrated dose of Eddie Murphy's talent that you'll find that's not called Beverly Hills Cop. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one.